But there are two angels that wait for all of us. We have a meeting, an appointment, an interview, an interrogation with two angels. None of us can escape that. Those two angels are Munkar and Nakir. Al-Imam Al-Qazwini alayhi salam, in a beautiful, authentic narration, he says when a believer is placed in his grave, 70,000 angels descend along with Munkar and Nakir. They come into that barzakhi grave. If the person is a mu'min, you know what they'll bring for him? They have a gift for his soul. What is that gift? The Imam alayhi salam, in explaining the last verses of Surah Al-Waqi'ah, he says they will bring him Rawh and Rayhan. 70,000 angels. Imagine this grand entourage with Munkar and Nakir going into the grave. They bring Rawh and Rayhan. What's Rawh and Rayhan? To put it very simple, have you ever been in a place where you're suffocating like a sauna? Very hot day, you're about to suffocate, you can't breathe. Has that ever happened to you? And then suddenly a door opens and you get that fresh, cool breeze. This is called Rawh. This is what they will bring to your soul. And then the Imam alayhi salam states, but if the person is a disbeliever, one who failed his test, one who died evil, 70,000 angels will come with Munkar and Nakir. And the person will yell, will cry. The Imam says, everyone hears the person except humans and jinns. Except us, we can't hear. The animals can hear their cry. Everything in existence can hear their cry. The person will beg the angels, please. قَالَ رَبِّ ارْجِعُونَ. Give me one more chance. Allah says, no, I gave you so many chances. Your time's up. My dear brothers and sisters, Allah does not take any soul without giving them enough chances. That's the justice of God. So 70,000 angels descend, and now you have Munkar and Nakir. The name Munkar and Nakir, what does it signify? In Arabic, the root word of Munkar and Nakir has a number of meanings. One meaning is to deny. One meaning is to reject. One meaning is not to recognize something. Another meaning is to be frightened. They are given this name because the disbeliever rejects the questions that they will pose to him. Or he will not recognize the answer. He doesn't know. Or because they will appear in a frightening form. If I'm not ready for death and suddenly I see these angels, I will be frightened. It's the mu'min, the believer, who will be at peace. But that's why they're called Munkar and Nakir. But there's another name for them. One of the beautiful supplications of the month of Rajab is for you to say, Ya Allah, Allahumma dra' anni munkar wa nakir. Oh Allah, ward off Munkar and Nakir from me. Oh Allah, allow me to see Mubashir and Bashir. Mubashir and Bashir are two angels that give you good news. They are the same Munkar and Nakir, but if you're a mu'min, if you're a believer, their quality will change and they will give you good news. They'll show you your place in heaven. They'll show you the rahmah of God, the forgiveness of God. That's why they're called Mubashir and Bashir. They truly give us good news. So now the questioning of the grave will begin. The first question, Man Rabbuk? Who is your Lord? Are we prepared to answer this question? Did I spend my life being close to my Lord, knowing Him, appreciating Him? That's the first question. The second question they ask you, Ma dinuk? What's your religion? My dear brothers and sisters, today we live in a society that tells us the following. You can be decent without religion, without God. You can fully be decent without God. You don't need God's rules. Make up your own rules. I would agree with them if we had created the universe and earth, let's make up our own laws. If I made earth, I constructed it, sure. If I own something, I can put down my own laws. But if I live in a place that I don't own, nothing do I really own. I know it has an owner. How dare I reject the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How can that make me decent? You know, subhanallah, in this small earth, which is a speck in the universe, we have over 200 countries. And each country has their own laws. But this whole universe that's owned by Allah, I don't have to go by His laws? What kind of logic is that? How does that make me decent? That's the second question. The third one, what's your book? Did you follow the book of Allah? Allah gave you these holy scriptures. Did you observe them? Number 4, who's your prophet? There's an interesting hadith in Sunan Abu Dawood attributed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There are some hadiths in the books of other Muslims that we accept. They're in line with our teachings. But this is an interesting hadith. The hadith states when these two angels ask the person, who's your prophet? He says, my prophet is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They ask a follow-up question. بِمَ دَرَيْتَ أَنَّهُ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. How did you know he's a prophet? You know what this hadith indicates? It may not be enough just to give the answer in the grave. The angels will tell you, show me your work. Allah wants us to know our deen. Know why he's the prophet. Know why the Quran. Be able to prove it. Yes, the angels will have this argument with you in the grave. Then they'll ask you, who is your imam? Didn't the prophet say 12? That's a very important question that the angels will ask us. Then they'll ask us about our lives. And Imam Zayn al-Abidin beautifully states, they'll ask you, عَنْ عُمْرِكَ فِيمَ أَفْنَيْتَ. How did you spend your life? عَنْ مَالِكَ مِنْ أَيْنَ اكْتَسَبْتَ. Your money, where did you make it from? وَفِيمَ أَنْفَقْتَ. How did you spend your money? Those angels are there to make sure that we can answer this properly. Do we have the right answers or no? And then there's more. After these two angels ask you these questions, another angel by the name of Ruman will appear. You know what Ruman will do? This is a very striking hadith. He will appear to us in the grave. He'll tell you, okay, now you have to write everything you did in your life. You'll tell him, how? What do you want me to write on? He says, your kafan. Now, in the world of barzakh, it's going to turn into a sheet of paper. You will ask that angel, how do you want me to write? I have the paper, but how? What's my pen? Use your finger as a pen. This is the world of barzakh. Don't think of this materialistically here. How will I write? I don't have ink. Your saliva, that will become ink. Yalla, write everything you did in your life. You know what this part of the hadith says? When you're writing your good deeds, you're writing them quickly, you're happy, you're honored. And then you suddenly stop. Roman tells you, why did you stop? You tell Roman, because I'm ashamed to write that sin that I committed in dunya. He'll tell you, subhanallah, when you committed it on the face of the planet, exposed on the planet before God, you weren't ashamed. Now in the grave you're ashamed to write it? Yalla, write it.